Hey folks, this is Phil from Gizmo Data. I'm going to show you something I'm really excited about. We're going to take the trillion row challenge from Coiled with GizmoEdge. So if you went to gizmodata.com, you might have seen our blog post about Gizmo SQL, the single node engine powered by DuckDB and Aeroflight SQL, taking the 1 trillion row challenge. And it did pretty well. It ran the trillion row challenge benchmark query in about 2 minutes, and it costs about 10 cents with spot compute. Let's take it with GizmoEdge. GizmoEdge is a different product. It's powered by the same DuckDB engine, but it's a distributed DuckDB engine. And it's going to be able to power through the trillion rows, hopefully a lot better, a lot faster than Gizmo SQL could. All right, so we've got our GizmoEdge IDE up here. We're going to query the measurements table and just look at 100 rows of data. We can see that query wasn't distributed, ran server side because it's not having to aggregate a bunch of data. And we're just looking at some basic 2 columns here, the station and the measurement of the temperature. Right? If we want to do a count star, we're going to start doing some aggregation, right? So let's go ahead and do a count star to get a record count of our table and see how much data we're dealing with. All right, we ran that. I'll run it again. And you can see that goes really fast, less than a half second. And we counted a 1 with a lot of zeros. Let's see what that number is. Put some commas in here. That's 1 trillion records, folks, that we just counted. All right, with distributed DuckDB. And we used 1,000 workers. They're running on this machine here, and so we're using about 65 nodes of this machine type here. So we're just powering through that data set with that amazing 1,000 worker count. So let's go ahead and run the challenge query. We're going to go ahead and copy the query from the Gizmo SQL blog. Paste it in here, and our table name is a little bit different. We're just going to change that. And let's get going here. Let's run the challenge benchmark query. Gizmo SQL is the current champ at 2 minutes. Nobody's filed an issue in the Coiled repo to my knowledge as of today. That is faster. Let's see if GizmoEdge can dethrone Gizmo SQL. All right, we kick this guy off here. We can see our workers churning through it. Boom! 4.78 seconds. 1 trillion records. No where clause, no filter. We processed all of it. And we aggregated and got the 412 row result set. And you say, well, that's only 412 rows. It took 1 trillion rows to generate that, right? So if you want to kind of get an idea of how many rows went into each group by row there, we're just going to do it as count star here. And let's run it again. And we can see our workers getting done. Boom, all done. And you can see that that 1 row here is comprised of that many records. And let's put some commas in here. Boom, 2.4 billion records in that 1 row that was aggregated into that 1 row there. So I was really excited about this. GizmoEdge is a product near and dear to my heart. It's something that I invented some time ago, and I'm really proud of it, really excited to work on it, and I'm really excited to share it with you. Contact us today if you have a lot of data that you want to process at lightning speed with distributed DuckDB. Thanks and have a great day.